Hey everyone, Razor's Edge back here with another Icarus video. I'm going to do something a little different in this one. I had a commenter ask what cave I was using in an old Icarus video that was titled Thumpers. There was something else to the title, but I don't remember what it was. I'll go ahead and just put it right here. So, in that video, I showcased something called the Thumper on what it did. I didn't really go into depth, detail, all that fun jazz. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show the cave that it was in, give you a nice little cinematic to see it, and then I'm going to show you the thumpers, or the thumper itself, and how it works and what the harder difficulty looks like on it, so you'll be more prepared. It actually took quite a bit of time to get this thing done, mainly because it was about 10 IRL hours to get prepped on a new world up to this point because I lost my save file. You'll have days of in-game play at the very least before you're ready for it. It's doable. It's totally doable with one person, as long as you're paying attention and not screwing around like what I did. So sit back, relax, enjoy this little bit, and I'll talk to you guys here in a little bit. Still with me so far? Good. So that part of the cave that you just got to see, the whole thing really, has everything from iron all the way up to titanium. It also has fish, as you saw, a water source that you can utilize for anything, even water pumps and or basic purifiers, because it's a special cave in the fact that it allows weather in most sections. There's a couple of spots where it's considered a cave, but you don't get pneumonia in this thing. It's the perfect cave for building in and living in if you want to do something like that. So what you'll see here coming up is I built a little base, and this is part of the effort of about 10 hours IRL that I was talking about to get this done. Now, there was a lot of time spent in the game. I'm kind of sad about that, but I did it just so I could get this out to you guys. And what you're going to see is an empty cave, a little speed run. Then I'm going to showcase the thumper and what it does. I'll be right back, show you guys that a little bit, and then we'll go from there. All right, now that you've seen what the cave looks like while it's empty, I want to go ahead and show you the thumper and the cost of the thumper. So right about here, I'm going to put up a picture that shows the thumper itself, and this is pulled from the wiki of what it is, the item description, and I think it shows where it's fabricated, or it's made in the fabricator. I don't exactly remember. And then what I'm also going to show, if you can pause it if you want to read that, is the material list right here for the thumper. It doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but it takes quite a bit to get to that point, taking multiple steps for a long period of time and several cave visits all around the map. Now it's time to see the thumper in action. Now you can place the thumper anywhere in this cave. I just prefer to place it in this specific spot because it guarantees total coverage and a little bit of the outside area of the cave. Just maximize the amount of ore coverage. So take a look at this. As you can see, the thumper does require power. It's about 1500. Once you have it hooked up, all you have to do is walk up to it and press F, the interact key, and get it started. Once you get it started, that's when the magic happens. I'd like to take a moment to point out here that risk section where it says high, that right there is the difficulty of the encounter that you're about to face. It's kind of based off of how many, it is based off of how many voxels that you have. Basically, how much ore have you mined. If you smack one of the ores with a pickaxe, it activates that in the game's code and turns that into a registered voxel. More or less, I could be wrong on that one, but that's what it does. It turns it into a voxel that has been interacted with, meaning it is now going to be randomized when the thumper is done working. So if you've got a whole bunch of, iron ore or whatever that you want to get rid of, instead of harvesting it, you could, in theory, smack it, run the thumper, and then possibly get something else out of it. I'm unfortunately going to have to spare you guys the sounds of the fight and the actual running of the thumper because I forgot to turn the audio up. I was running it a little low, hit the wrong thing, ended up just turning the frame limit up instead of actually the audio, so sorry about that. That giant red worm was called a land shark, by the way. As much as I know you want to watch this entire video all the way through, all 20-something minutes of it, I'm going to speed up this fight just to, move this along a little bit better. I wanted to point out that that is actually a progress bar to show you how far along in the experience that you are. It's not an arbitrary number of like, hey, you hit this percentage, you have to fight this many enemies. It's more or less just this is what is going on during the whole thing. Could be better, could be worse. I'd rather see an actual count of what I've got to fight versus a percentage bar that realistically takes almost 10 minutes to fill. If you're at this part of the game, you most likely know this already, but most animals and enemies drop some form of loot. The land sharks and the teenage cave worms, those all drop, sometimes vestiges or worm scales or things like that. Poison sacks, I believe. Well, the land sharks actually drop ore, as well as, I believe, a poison sack or something else along those lines. So, if you don't end up being successful with the thumper, you still have a little bit extra that you can get out of this for your troubles of the whole fight. As you can see, the magic has happened. Now, this is what it looks like after the thumper gets done. There's a large, as I said earlier, AoE that is affected by this machine. Once it's done, all the ores in the area have regenerated. Now you're good to go harvest more and rinse and repeat. All right, that's the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like and subscribe. It doesn't hurt anything. Leave me a comment below if you want to talk about it, and maybe we can come up with some other things to review. Maybe there's some new items in Icarus you want me to check out. Maybe there's items in other games you want me to check out. I don't mind. I enjoyed changing the format up to give you something different, so let me know how you feel. Have a good day. All right, I want to add a little thing here to the end. I have something that I've wanted to do for a while now since I've grown a little bit more. I want to start doing shout outs for other people. There's nothing wrong with saying a couple of words, maybe sending some love their way. But I want to point out one of these small YouTubers I ran across the other day. Their name is Kendall Light, and they've got a small following, but they're making a community out of it. Mainly Minecraft videos is what she's made so far. And I mean, they're not terrible. I like them so far. I've seen just about every video she has, and she could use some love. So why don't you guys go check it out? I'll put a link in the description to her channel down there, and you can go see a couple of her videos. Maybe say hi, tell her to stop by, and just, spread some positivity. All right? Goodbye.